Hi, my name is Owen Schoeniger. I'm the lead maker here at HIVE, the makerspace at Lakeland Community College. So when it came to the design process, there were two fundamental stages. There's the structural and functional component, and then there's the aesthetic component. We started by deciding, what are the materials we're going to use to make this thing, and what would be the technologies that we're going to use to cut those shapes out of these materials. We chose laser cutting and CNC routing. This piece gave us the opportunity to showcase how two-dimensional elements can be brought together to form a three-dimensional object. If you look at this tray, it has lots of different features, but essentially it's just 5 flat pieces that all fold together. So we started by measuring the thickness of the material. So when we're designing our joints, we made the length of each notch for the joints the same exact value as the thickness of the material. That way, when we go to assemble it, everything fits perfectly flush. At that point, once we had validated the design, actually by creating a smaller version of that same piece, then I felt confident in the structural mechanical aspect of it and moved forward into the aesthetic side. So beautification time. So I started the main design that would be in the base of the tray, which would be visible when the tray is not full of goods. And then there's a pattern running around the side that is a simple holiday design. In order to showcase a little bit of diversity on the two handle sides, we took that pattern and we converted the design to a path for the machine to cut that pattern out. And then on the wider sides, we left it as a graphic, and in its natural state, the machine will try to engrave all graphics. So the only difference, the same tool was used to make it. It's a laser. It's vaporizing the wood when it makes contact. The difference being, is it going back and forth to trace that pattern and engrave it, or is it actually following a path and cutting out that shape? It may sound very technical, but it's very, very straightforward, very easy, and the most difficult part is getting comfortable with the design software that we use to do all of that. So in contrast to the laser cutter engraver, it works in a very fixed state. It becomes really interesting when we work with the Shaper Origin, which is our handheld CNC router. That machine uses computer vision in order to basically guide the user along the pathway that it's cutting with the router. So you start with a digital drawing in the same way that you would with the laser cutter engraver. Once we have that design saved, we just plug our USB stick with the design on it right into our router, and then we're ready for the next step. We're ready to place our design onto the workpiece. You actually coat the workpiece in a special tape that has a pattern on it, and there's a camera on the router that will actually scan that surface. Using this handheld device, which has a little display, you can actually see where your design appears, and then the fun begins. And then it's like playing a video game. There's a little screen, and it shows your pathways that you're supposed to cut, and it guides you along. And the beautiful thing about it is it actually uses this computer vision to self-correct. So we have this circular region where the bit is able to move around, and so as long as you keep that circular region over the pathway that you wish to cut, the tool will do the rest for you and it will auto-correct. So at that point, you just tell the router to begin plunging to make your cut at the given depth that you want it to plunge. In this case, I believe we used 0.05 inches as the depth because we just wanted to take out a little bit of material, just enough to showcase the letters. I love designing, I love building things, but really what my eyes light up when I see other people bringing their passion and their creativity in here, because that's when you find things that are truly amazing, is when somebody who maybe doesn't consider themselves tech savvy, but they have a very specific passion and interest and lots of relevant experience in that area. And when they connect that passion and experience with a little bit of practice and effort on the technology side, then something amazing tends to come out of that. That's the fun stuff for me. So it's really, there's no one best way to use or be a part of HIVE. Really, we just encourage you to come down here and sort of create your space and find your place.